We have a new Batman movie, so now it's time to rank all 11 theatrically released Batman films from worst to best. Coming out last place at number 11 is Batman and Robin. This is a huge mistake of a movie that never should have existed. Everyone in this movie is bizarrely miscast. The tone is a weird shift from the direction that was already established in the previous Batman films before this, and the acting is atrocious. Nothing about this movie makes any sense, and every single choice they made in this movie was entirely wrong. Number 10, Batman the movie from 1966. Unlike Batman and Robin, the silly tone of this movie is actually watchable, because you can tell the actors in this film are having fun while they do it. The movie is at least somewhat self-aware that it's silly, and just wants to give the audience a good time. All the actors who play the most infamous villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery work very well off of each other and have the time of their life. Now, plot-wise, there isn't a great narrative flow. It feels like a few episodes of the show edited together, because the film doesn't stick with just one plot line. It kind of bounces around, so most of the villains get a Batman story, but it's still fun and hilarious. Number 9, Batman Forever. Despite an over-the-top performance from Jim Carrey, who was basically just playing himself, I still kind of enjoyed this movie. Now, I do think Chris O'Donnell is one of the most bizarre miscasts in any of these films. He was in his mid-20s when this came out, and while you can get someone in their 20s to play a younger character, he's a 20-something who looks 30-something, so it's not believable that he's helpless and needs training. It is fun seeing Batman solving riddles, and a lot of the action can be really fun at times, but the casting choices in this movie were just bizarre. Number 8, Batman Returns. A well-directed, grim-looking Batman film with great performances, but it goes a little too far with some of its darker elements. Burton's previous Batman film still had a sense of fun to it, but this film feels more like it's trying to shock the audience. Penguin is a creepy, scary-looking pervert, Catwoman is way over-sexualized, and Penguin's plan involves attempted mass infanticide, because that's what we want to see in a Batman movie. Catwoman's origin story is also a bit silly. It's well-directed, but it really pushes the shock value. Number 7, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. The plot to this movie is all over the place. There's a lot of stuff about it that makes no sense, but the commentary on how much power someone like Superman should be allowed to have is well written, and the action is fun to watch. Number 6, Batman 1989. Arguably the first great comic book movie. Sure, you had Christopher Reeve's Superman around 10 years before this, but this is the movie that really set the stage for future comic book movies. It has all the fun of the Adam West show without going too over the top with it. It has well-done action, and Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson both turn out fantastic performances. Burton honors the source material while also giving it his own flavor. This is truly one of the great comic book movies, especially since it came out way back in 1989, and we've come a long way, so it's amazing that it holds up as well as it does. Number 5, The Dark Knight Rises. An epic conclusion to the Dark Knight trilogy. Bane is a fantastic villain, and Hathaway is a surprisingly good choice for Catwoman, but plot-wise it feels like Batman's character arc has essentially been reset. He's not really Batman for most of the movie. He has to retrain himself, which we already saw in Batman Begins. The twist regarding who Talia is doesn't really feel earned, and they also set Joseph Gordon-Levitt up to be Robin, kind of, but that never really went anywhere anyway, so that feels pointless. Still, it has epic action, the citizens of Gotham taking back their city is great to watch, but the character writing should have been better. Number 4, Batman Begins. A fantastic origin story that brings us a very different take on Batman. We get to see the Bruce Wayne side of him, and it gives him more depth than previous films. The script has absolutely fantastic dialogue with themes about fear that are well executed, and the more realistic take works in the film's favor. Number 3, the Lego Batman Movie. An absolutely hilarious parody film for all Batman fans. The script is witty, the jokes are perfectly timed, and it has a lot of heart to it as well. Number 2, The Dark Knight. An extremely well-written film with fantastic performances. Heath Ledger gives us the definitive version of the Joker, with brilliant foreshadowing, tons of surprises, the action is fantastic, and despite its darker moments, there's still elements of hope and optimism. It's one of the most perfect comic book movies ever made. And coming in at first place is The Batman. A perfectly made, well-executed film that gives us a take on Batman we've never seen before. Though there is action in this film, and very well choreographed action, I might add, that's not the focus here. The focus is a detective story about trying to figure out how Riddler connects to all these mysterious murders and disappearances. The tone harkens back to old detective noir films, complete with narration that comes straight out of an audio drama. Riddler is an absolutely nightmarish villain who you can really believe could exist in real life, especially in the day and age of the dark web. Pattinson gives a fantastically brooding yet intelligent performance, and seeing a younger Batman who's only been at it for about 2 years and is still trying to grasp that he can't be everywhere at once and can't save everyone is a refreshing take on the character. It's not so much a superhero film as it is a detective film, and it's fantastic. It's the new definitive version of the Cape Crusader, and for me, it comes in at number 1. So go ahead and share your ranking of the Batman movies you've seen, and if you're up to the challenge, heck, add some of the direct-to-video movies. I don't care. I know there's like 80 of them, but if you want to make your list that long, you can go ahead and do that. Just share any Batman movies you want in your list. Make your own list. I don't care. I'll see you next time.